Dale Titus with Danby Goods, and today I'm going to show you the MTD Kingston Saratoga. Here's the 4-string version, but it's also available in 5-string. And the Saratoga is basically Mike Tobias's re-envisioning of the vintage basses from our past. They really are true to the elements that make them vintage, but they utilize a lot of modern techniques and a lot of modern advancements that Mike has kind of been the founding father of, to make sure the performance is much better. Face it, a lot of the old vintage basses have had noise issues, don't record well, over the years may have been abused, so the necks get a little bit wonky. So what we have here, let's just go into the parts of this. But basically, the body is a carved basswood body, and it's a great sounding wood. It's got some really nice sculpting on the back, so that's very comfortable to play. It's also a very light bass. Both the 4-string and the 5-string basses are 34-inch scale, the traditional scale length of the vintage basses. All the electronics are passive. It's just 2 passive pickups. You have a volume control for the neck pickup, a volume control for the bridge pickup, and then you have a passive tone control. Now all the way clockwise, all the way this way, it's the natural sound of the instrument. And as you dial it back, it gets a little bassier. Some of the highs roll off if you want more of that dub sound. The fingerboard options are really, you can either go a rosewood fingerboard, a maple fingerboard, or you can get the fretless ebony fingerboard. The neck's not only maple, but it's Mike Tobias's asymmetrical neck design. And the asymmetrical neck design means on the thicker string side, on the what they call the bass string side, the neck is deeper, it's thicker. And then on the treble string side, the G string side, the neck tapers to a smaller dimension. So that it's actually kind of like a soft C shape. So it kind of curves up. It's thicker up by the heavier strings and thinner by the G strings. And that really facilitates very comfortable left-hand fingering. Your thumb stays nice and low. It's on the bass naturally. And so you get a nice soft curve to the fingers. The performance of the bass is phenomenal to me. For a passive bass, it's got such a bright and live sound, and it's very punchy as all get out for pretty much all techniques. One way I'll test basses when I'm trying basses for myself or if I'm doing reviews for companies is I will actually roll off the volume and I'll listen to it acoustically, and I realize through my little camera you might not hear it, but you can judge a lot by the natural sound of a bass, by how it sounds not plugged in acoustically. You can tell that it's really resonant. I mean, the notes just really ring out. When you play, you just get this great punch, even not amplified. So then when you bring in the pickups, you can really hear a difference. That translates to what the pickups hear. So let's go through a little bit of the sounds. You know, of course, if you want more of that cutting, brighter rock sound, you just roll the volume off on the bridge pickup. I'm sorry, on the neck pickup, and you get just the bridge pickup. This is also great if you guys are chord players. You know, because you get a tighter sound so that the notes in the chord really seem to cut through better, and that's not just a muddy mess. If you roll off the, add back the neck pickup and roll off the bridge pickup, you get much more of a woody sound. It's kind of really cool, it's a really round sound. And of course you can blend them any way. That's one popular, or that's the reason why having 2 volume pots can be popular, because you aren't just stuck with like some basses have a selector switch, so it's all neck, both, and then bridge. There's no in between there. Here you can just pull back a little of one pickup, add more of the other, and you can get a really great array of tones. Now the passive tone control works pretty much like on all the vintage basses. If I play and then roll it off. Now I don't know if on your computer speakers you really hear that, but the upper end of the tone, the high crystalline highs, got muted. So if you're playing a reggae thing or an old blues or something, you want an old sound, just roll that off and then bring it back. I went through the hardware. It uses the MTD Kingston Mike Tobias' own design for a quick release bridge. Change the strings so simple. You don't have to pull it through a hole. You just hook it in here, and when you're ready to take them off, they just come off in a second. So I really like the design. It's a low profile bridge. It was easy to intonate. And then of course heavy duty tuning machines. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. Guys that put crappy tuning machines on just drive me nuts. You're not even giving the bass a chance. So in this case, these stayed really well in tune even after I slapped on it for a long time. So anyway, the Saratoga has two finishes available. Here's the Tobacco Sunburst finish. It also has a trans black finish, and you can get it in fretted and fretless versions. So there you have it. I really love this bass. They're not getting it back. I'm going to buy it from them. I think it's just a great bass. The Saratoga 4-string MTD Kingston. Go to your local Kingston dealer and try one for yourself. If you don't know who that is, go on to mtdkingston.com and you'll be able to see a dealer tab, and you'll be able to put in your zip code and find the nearest dealer. Alright, thanks for stopping by.